The best thing you can do to help bring your body into alkalinity is reduce stress. And unfortunately, that is kind of the hardest thing to do as well. But a stressed body is always going to be acidic. And so the more you can manage your stress, the better off you're going to feel.
You're listening to Essential Oil Conversations, the podcast for busy women who love natural living, friendship, and a little bit of entrepreneurship too. So what are we talking about today, Meg?
Well, we are going to be talking about breast cancer because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But I do want to add the caveat, breast cancer is obviously something that can be diagnosed, and we're not supposed to talk about essential oils at all for things that can be diagnosed. So specifically what we're going to be talking about today is both breast health and essential oils that can help with that, as well as lymphatic health and cellular health overall. So just want to put that out there. We are not trying to cure a disease or imply anything around that, but we are going to give you tips that can help support your body.
All right. Well, start sharing. Let's hear what you got.
Okay. Well, the first thing that came to mind is just pink pepper, because that's probably of the oils that are talked about for this topic. That was the most recent one that has come out. I can't remember what year it came out. It's probably been around for 3 or 4 years now. But when it came out, we got kind of a deep dive on it. And so that's the first thing that I think of. And pink pepper is really interesting too, because while it is a pepper oil, it's not hot and spicy like black pepper would be, but it really is amazing for helping with getting things moving and cellular health. And even there's a lot of recipes out there for breast health and using this. So I know you found one online.
So this one is for a roller bottle, and it calls for 10 drops of frankincense, 10 drops of DDR prime, 10 drops of pink pepper, and 10 drops of grapefruit. And then you top it off with the fractionated coconut oil. And then I was applying that basically daily for 30 days. So that's how I was utilizing that. And I will tell you that I don't necessarily have the roller bottle made anymore, but roughly every 30 days, I do try to. So I guess my schedule is now once every 30 days instead of 30 days in a row. But what I will do is I will go and put some of these oils into my hands and then just apply, when I'm getting dressed or whatever. So I do keep up with that part of it regularly.
That's awesome. I need to do that because I've only done it during challenges. So at the center that I work at, we have a lot of people who come in with these types of issues. And one of the things we sell is a breast balm. And the breast balm is basically castor oil and clary sage. And so that would be a good combo as well. And the beauty of using castor oil, so even for your roller bottle, you could use castor oil. But the beauty of that is that carrier oil is also naturally detoxing. And so that would be a good combo. But I will say castor oil stains clothing really badly. So I would not do that and then put on clothing. In fact, probably the best way to use castor oil is to apply it, then wrap it with either 100% organic cotton or 100% organic flannel, and then even put a heating pad on it. And that will help it kind of activate and work even better at detoxing.
Interesting. So that almost kind of becomes a little bit more of a monthly self-care thing in my mind that you would just incorporate into whatever else you were already doing.
Yeah. And again, like if you have these major issues, I would actually do it daily. But even if you could do it weekly, it would be supportive.
So we talked about the pink pepper specifically, the frankincense, DDR prime, and grapefruit, as well as the clary sage. The clary sage is a little bit more for kind of all things women's health, right? I mean, I feel like that one pops up a lot for that topic. Those other 3 oils are all excellent at improving circulation. So that was kind of the direction that you were going to go with that too, right?
Yeah, totally. And then the other thing with just the roller ball or like creating a balm too is it's really important for women to touch their breast on a regular basis. And that's the easiest way to know if there are suddenly lumps or something that you need to be concerned about. So I think just even for that alone, creating either one of these would be super helpful for all women to do.
And as we're talking about this, I'm thinking about the whole dry brushing thing, and that I wonder if applying these oils, either the roller bottle Can you dry brush with the castor oil? I've never specifically thought about that part of it, but like how I'm applying the oils, it would be very easy to just incorporating the dry brushing, and then take a shower or whatever too.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't dry brush with castor oil because castor oil is naturally sticky as well. I think it would
Okay.
just gunk up your brush,
Okay.
unfortunately. Yeah. But kind of along those lines, dry brushing is awesome for lymphatic support and getting the lymph moving. But one of the best ways to do that is literally just go for a walk. Our calf muscles are what pump our lymph throughout our system. And so that's why people do things like rebounding, where they jump on a miniature trampoline, but literally just going for a walk can do that too. And so there's so many things right now about, get your 10,000 steps in and stuff like that. You don't necessarily have to do 10,000 steps, but for women specifically, walking is one of the healthiest and simplest things that you can do for your health. And it's not just exercise, it's also moving your lymph. It's also really great for stress relief as well. So many reasons to just go for a walk.
And none of that is marketed that way. And I think that people having a better understanding that it's not just walking for simple exercise, which we do need, but at the same time, plugging those other things in with it, that just makes it sound that much more beneficial.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like it's always the simplest things, right, that really move the needle. And kind of along those lines, let's talk about nutrition. So obviously there's supplements you could take, but also just Google alkaline diet. So any disease can't live in a body that is alkaline. And a lot of times we're extremely acidic, especially if we're dealing with stress because we were just told that we have some big, scary diagnosis. And so going on an alkaline diet that's primarily real food based is one of the best things you can do.
So, alkaline water is a big thing, though, and I
Mm.
hear that that's not necessarily always beneficial.
Yes, I'm so glad you brought that up. So, the one part in our body that should be acidic and is extremely dangerous to have it be alkaline is the stomach. And if you're drinking alkaline water, the first thing it's hitting your esophagus, but after that, it's your stomach. And that's horrible for you. So, people feel amazing when they first do it. It's literally like taking a handful of Tums every day. You're going to feel good, but it's doing tons of damage for your stomach.
So, not a nutrition expert here. How is the water going to our stomach different than the alkaline diet food going to our stomach?
Yeah, great question. So the food itself is not necessarily alkaline, it's what it does once it's in the body. And so it makes the body alkaline. So a perfect example is lemon water. Lemon, I think most people know, is super acidic, but when you add it to water, drink it, it actually helps alkalinize the body once it goes through the digestive tract. So it's almost like the
Interesting.
opposite. Yeah.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Here we go, bringing the body back into balance again, right? I mean, I feel
Mhm.
like so many things you would think, okay, well, this does this. The lemon's acidic, so that's just going to increase the acid. But no, you're saying the way our body processes it, that it actually turns it more alkaline and brings us back into balance. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. But along those lines, the best thing you can do to help bring your body into alkalinity is reduce stress. And unfortunately, that is kind of the hardest thing to do as well. But a stressed body is always going to be acidic. And so the more you can manage your stress, the better off you're going to feel. And then along those lines, there are obviously essential oils that can help with that. So, like adaptive is probably my go to for reducing stress, but also just lavender can be so helpful for people. And just using whatever oil reduces your stress, put a drop in your hand and then do some type of breathing technique where you're breathing in. So, cup over your face, breathe it in. So, maybe it's like box breathing where it's breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, repeat, repeat, repeat. But breathing in the oil is going to help it even more so reduce stress, which will make your body more alkaline.
I love it. And then again, we've got the walking, the simple exercise of walking and being able to decrease the stress, improve the circulation, all of those things.
Yeah. Yeah. And our bodies are designed to heal. So we put the right things in, we give it the right support, it can always heal.
I think that the stress also comes with mindset then, right? I feel like a lot of times it's hard to remain optimistic about difficult things. And I feel like if we can remain optimistic or see the good in things, that hopefully that also helps decrease our stress level, which then internally is helping our body too.
Yeah, totally. So there's a lot you can do. I would say if you are on a health journey right now and addressing this type of issue, definitely get yourself a reference book because there's so much that we can't specifically say. There's so much research as well. And a reference book is going to give you a lot more information. And we have a resource for you to help you figure out which reference book would be best for you. So in the show notes, we've got a link for our reference book matchmaker. And it's basically like a decision tree and will help you figure out specifically what book works best for like your personality and your needs. So check that out. I think it's really helpful for people.
And speaking of a decision tree, we will link all of the products that we've talked about today in our show notes. So if you are new to doTERRA and you are looking to get started with these products that we talked about today, then you can go and click on the various links and get started that way. And if you've already been using doTERRA and don't have these products, then you need to make sure that you have them on hand as well.
Yeah. And just so you know as well, that link will get you 25% off and then wholesale membership for free. So definitely worth clicking on. All right, Heather, anything else on this topic?
I think you have brought a lot of insightful information, and I am excited to continue with the products I was already using and then incorporate some of the other stuff that you mentioned as well.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to actually do what we just talked about and mix up the roller bottle because like I've got all of those oils and I'm not using them that way, but I need to. So yeah, I'll get on that. All right, well, thanks so much for listening. We'll have a new episode for you soon.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This podcast is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.